What is your worst client experience?
um, I got lots of them. I got lots of them. All kinds of stuff, right? I'll tell one, but I mean, I've had times where I'll just kind of do a rapid fire, then I'll tell a story. But back in the day, I remember I showed up to a lady's house, prospect's house, and she had no pants on. That was crazy. Another time, showed up at
Oh,
somebody's house to sell them insurance. This is like really early on, and they had cocaine on the table. They're like shoving it off. I'm like, holy crap. Another time in Michigan, I was working in the B2B space, and going into companies and doing employee benefit enrollments and stuff. And I had this big deal that it was going to be great. I was going to make, five figures, maybe multiple five figures. And at the last second, some higher up made a decision that affected the whole thing. So I was still going to get it, but it was going to be like a couple $1,000s. And I had to sleep in my car because I had to meet all the employees at like 2 o'clock, between shifts and stuff. So a bunch of crazy stuff like that. But so I actually had, and this is not a client story. This is more of like somebody that worked with this story. And there was it's two ladies, like mid 30s. This was a few years back, and maybe 5 years ago. And they started working with us, and I got introduced to them, and I remember talking to them, and they're like, well, I'm doing this because I want to get out of my night job. Night job. I thought I'm like, I thought she said she worked at like a computer company, worked in an office or something. Like, she's like, I make pretty good money, but I want to get out of that. And I'm like, she makes like, probably, I don't know what she makes. But I'm like, she probably makes $40,000-$50,000 a year. I mean, that's pretty good, but I wouldn't call it like, oh, I make good money. Right. And so she just kept saying things like, oh, I got this night job and I just really want to give it up. And then I'm looking at like the customers she's getting, and they're all married men. Right. And, she would say things like, oh, hey, she would reach out to somebody. Hey, can you call that guy? It's like not a good time for me. And like, just kept saying weird things. And then I remember one day we were talking, and she kept talking about her night job. And I was like, what do you do? And she's like, well, you know what I do. I was like, no,
oh,
I don't know what you do. And I'm totally naive at the point of what's going on. And she's like, well, I'm a prostitute. I was like, oh, okay. Makes sense, right? Not at like all the stars aligned. And it's like, okay, married men, got it. Can't call them when their wives are there, got it. Okay. So that was pretty crazy. And she ended up doing well for a time. I think I don't know,
doing
but
well.
I think she was like blackmailing these people, like, hey, if you don't become our customer, I'm going to tell your wife or something. I don't know what was going on, and
Oh man.
and then like I didn't see her for a while, and then one of her customers called me, and they were like, hey, I need some help with this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, well, hey, how's so and so? And they're like, oh, she's dead. Oh, okay,
Wow.
all right.
Okay.
Call me if you need anything.